Hello and welcome. My name is Fiona Sears and I'm the Head of Examining at the AMEB Federal Office. Thank you so much for joining us to discover more about the AMEB Award program and to hear from some very special guests who have been through the program and are happy to share their experiences with us. I'm currently in Naarm on the traditional lands of the Kulin Nation and I pay my respects to their elders. It is inspiring to know that music and culture have existed across our nation for thousands of years. My co-host, Susan Eldridge, will be joining me soon to offer her unique view on the award and to chat with our special guests. But before I welcome her to the webinar, I'd like to give you a quick overview of the AMEB Award program. The AMEB Award was developed because we saw an opportunity to shine a spotlight on the work and contributions that musicians and performing artists are making beyond practicing an instrument and doing exams, and to acknowledge those contributions. The AMEB Award program was designed to showcase their hard work, their dedication, and the passion for their art form, and encourage participants to try new things, push their limits, and collaborate with others. The AMEB Award was actually pioneered in AMEB by AMEB WA, Western Australia, and the state office there continues to deliver their own program, which is endorsed by the School Curriculum and Standards Authority, SCASA. If you are joining us from WA, we advise you to check out the AMEB WA State Office website for more details on their award program, which shares a similar structure and ethos to the federal program. The AMEB Federal Award Program offers 3 awards, and they are bronze, silver, and gold. Within each award, there are 3 requirements which participants must complete to be a successful recipient. You can see the details of the 3 awards on the screen now. Okay, so the first requirement is an AMEB qualification, whether that be on an instrument like bassoon or violin, perhaps a rock school instrument like drums or guitar, a speech and drama exam, or an acting or jazz dance qualification from our PAA syllabuses. You can even do an AMEB award with a theory exam, with just a theory exam. The grade level required changes for each of the 3 award levels, and it also depends on the syllabus that you are doing. And you can visit the qualifications list on our website to check the exact requirements. The exam can be taken within the 12 months of the enrolment, or you may have achieved it many years ago, which is also totally fine. The second requirement participants must complete is a certain number of performances. Performances must take place within the 12 months of the enrolment in the program, and at least one performance must be on the instrument or discipline that you nominate that you're nominated for your AMEB qualification. And we call this your nominated instrument. There are certain rules that apply to performances, such as minimum audience numbers, and you can check those out on the website. Finally, award participants must undertake a certain number of contribution activities. These are not performances, so you need to put your instrument down for these. Contribution activities are a chance to showcase your skills beyond playing an instrument, dancing or acting. They are behind-the-scenes activities that add value and demonstrate a commitment to the arts beyond performing, such as mentoring others in your school band or volunteering backstage for your local community theatre group, perhaps. We have a long list of great examples and starting points on the website, so I suggest that you head there to have a little look. To help me further explain the importance of and value of contribution activities, I'd like to introduce you to Susan Eldridge, who has been part of the AMEB Award journey since this national version was developed. Susan is an innovative entrepreneur, mentor, professional horn player, lecturer in music at the University of Melbourne, author, founder of a multitude of projects, including Ignite Lab at the Melbourne Conservatorium of Music, and the Notable Values podcast. She's a mum and a revolutionary in the music education sector. Susan is helping people sustainably build lifelong and passion-filled careers in the creative sector. So welcome, Susan. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, Fiona. It's really great to be here.
Great. So we were just talking about contribution activities, and these really do lie at the heart of the AMEB Award program, and we think they're really important. What value do you see in these behind-the-scenes activities?
So much, Fiona. And as you were reading that very impressive but embarrassing laundry list of things that I do, it made me think about my start in doing all of this. Was I grew up playing in a brass band, and I had to put the chairs out and I had to put the hats in the boxes. And so actually all of the things that I do in my broad portfolio of career as a musician stem from the early days that I started doing much the same as young musicians are today. These contribution activities of just getting beyond the instrument and helping make other things happen. So I think for young musicians, the most important things that I think can come out of this is broadening their mindset about what it can mean to be a musician beyond playing, because there's so much opportunity to work in music and have a life in music. It's so fulfilling and rewarding. And the broader your understanding of how your skills can be used across the industry, the better. So I think number one, understanding that that a musician does not mean playing your instrument, doesn't mean just doing that. There's so many ways you can be a musician and contribute. And secondly, I think helping our young musicians to take responsibility for their personal development. Much of what happens at school is prescribed for our students, and this is really an opportunity for every student to lead a successful project that's of their own initiation, and that's so important in those early years, adolescent, and going forward is a chance to come up with a project that's completely your idea, that's structured and delivered in a way that's going to meet your needs and your skills where you are, regardless of if this is the first time you've done something or you've done this before. So I think that creation of a personal project and taking responsibility for getting that done is transferable to music and beyond music. It doesn't matter what our young musicians choose to do in their life. If they've got that skill, that's going to be really valuable for them.
I think
Because
we've
I
found
see
that
that.
already in some of the examples that we're seeing come through.
Absolutely.
That there's
And I
a
see that in my sons. My sons both trained musicians, but neither of them are pursuing music professionally. They're very involved, but it's something that's a personal passion for them. And they're
Mhm.
doing cybersecurity and physics, but they use their musicianship and their transferable skills from what they learned from these kind of contribution activities every day. So it
Mm.
doesn't matter where you're going to go, you're going to be able to bring this with you.
Yes, and I think a lot of the people who are participating in the award, well, we have some who, are already doing all those activities and they're already contributing, and it's nice to be able to recognise those and for the community around them to recognise them. But also that some people maybe are using this as a impetus to maybe start something new or to, explore further things that they might be able to contribute.
I agree. And the other thing that's really important for young people as they're developing, either they're going into university or into their careers, is if you've got demonstrated evidence of your skill on your resume or in your portfolio, that's what gets you opportunity.
Mm.
So the opportunity, that the experience of the AMEB Award to demonstrate what you can do and have that evidence of your skill and your creativity and your entrepreneurship is really, really valuable for any kind of scholarship, fellowship, or job application going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. Even for, yes, school scholarships in the early days and then onwards into university as well. We hope that this program will bring some more substance to people's applications, and that can only be a good thing.
Absolutely. The other thing that just really struck out to me, Fiona, as
Mm.
we were watching the beautiful video was, so we talked a little bit about what participants can get from this program, but what jumped out at me is actually this is a way to make music accessible for people who may not be able to attend traditional concert formats.
Mm.
And that's just watching the performance of both the contribution activities. I thought lots of people can't, for various reasons, get to concerts in traditional ways. And this is an opportunity for us to take music to everybody. And that's so critical for today. So I just think that also that opportunity for us to make music more accessible is really, really important for our community.
Yeah, absolutely. It was definitely one of the principles when we were setting this up, that we were looking at making sure that the program was accessible to all ages, to all abilities, to people in lots of different areas, so regional areas as well, because we don't want anybody to miss out, and there's growth to be had and personal development to be had from all people everywhere.
Absolutely.
Mm.
Yeah.
Great, thank you for that.
Thanks, Fiona.
So maybe we'll move on to, how do you get involved in the AMEB Award program? Before enrolling and planning the award journey, we really do advise you to have a good look at the website. and also the award policy. So the award policy is actually a detailed fact sheet on all of the requirements, exceptions and recommendations. So it's a really great place to find all the information that you need if you're thinking about enrolling or if you're thinking about getting started in the program. Based on the participants who have already enrolled in the AMEB Award since we launched last year, we have learned that they have become involved in our program either through their school, their teachers, and sometimes their parents. In some cases, participants have also instigated their own involvement. It is clear that most, if not all, participants already contributed in some way to their community and are looking for a challenge to do more or to add more structure and get recognition for their efforts. We have found that some teachers are looking for a way to acknowledge the behind-the-scenes work of their students, which can sometimes go unnoticed and unacknowledged, especially within a big school setting, for example, and yet it makes a big impact on their arts events. So it's nice for the teachers to be able to recognise that. I'd now like to welcome the people who've just joined me on the screen. So 2 people who have recently been through an AMEB Award journey together. Victoria there was our first participant within the state of Victoria to receive an award, her Silver Award, and she's here today with her mother and piano teacher, Jodie. Welcome to you both.
Hello, everyone.
Congratulations, Victoria, on successfully completing your Silver AMEB Award. We're so excited, and you were the first person in Victoria to receive an award. Congratulations.
Thank you.
We've got a few questions for Jodie and Victoria. Jodie, I might start with you, if that's okay. Can you tell us, well, many parents are curious about the AMEB program. Can you tell us how you discovered it and what made you decide to enrol Victoria?
Absolutely. Browsing the AMEB website, I stumbled upon the bronze, silver, and gold awards. And then I noticed it wasn't just about performance or exams. It encouraged any participation and contribution to the performing art community. And I immediately knew this was an excellent opportunity for Victoria to explore her potential.
Fantastic.
Victoria, I've got a question for you. A little bird tells me that your contribution activities included food. Is that right? And can you tell us about your contribution activities for your Silver AMEB Award?
Well, the contribution activities I undertook included organising rehearsal material for my school senior choir, support fundraising event, and I wrote music concert program notes for my piano teacher's annual concert, and finally being a master of ceremony for my piano teacher's annual concert. These are the ones I submitted for the Silver Award, but I've done extra ones such as writing a concert review, but in the end had too much to submit.
That's a pretty good problem to have, right? Too many great things to share. And so, Jodie, I'm really interested then in your role as mum. What has been the impact of Victoria's participation in the AMEB Award?
Yes, Victoria's driven and always strives for her best. The Silver Award program ignites her creativity, encouraging her to submit unique project ideas. And the support from her schools further demonstrate her passion for writing up performance and the piano recital program for my students. It was amazing to see how she maturely handled the challenges. And I, as a parent and teacher, I naturally wanted to help her. But as an award supervisor, I learned to stand back and see her blossom into a confident and dedicated individual who support me much more than that I can imagine. Seeing her interview all my students before the performance and before the concert and create the programs was impressive. And she even went online to learn how to pronounce the French song names correctly. And that is something I would never think of doing. And she was excellent at it and spoke very well as an MC in my concert. So I'm very grateful and thank you.
Oh, that's amazing. And what was that like for you, Victoria? Did you feel confident standing up and being an MC?
I love being MC, and I've spoke in front of audience I've spoken in front of an audience very many times, so I'm probably used to it.
Excellent. I feel like maybe, you know, a high achiever we're talking to here. But it's so nice that you were able to do these things, some of which you felt comfortable with, and maybe some which extended you and as part of your AMEB program, and then you get rewarded for it, which is exciting. So Victoria, you know, do you have any advice that you would give to someone thinking of doing the AMEB Award?
Yeah, I highly recommend anyone who wishes to do the AMEB Award to participate in many activities outside of your classroom as much as you can. Try to get involved in a band or join your school choir. Try to be part of the community and walk out of your classroom to connect with people. I would also like to recommend anyone who wishes to do the AMEB Award to use this opportunity to promote music. You can promote music in many ways, like performing in your local library or local retail stores.
Wonderful. And so tell us, Victoria, you play the piano, and is that the instrument that you did for the award?
Yes.
Do you play any other instruments?
No, but I sing. I sing.
You sing, of course. You sing in the choir, and you play in a few ensembles, I believe.
Yeah.
Brilliant. And what grade are you in at school, if I can ask?
Grade 6.
Grade 6. And have you done some leadership roles at your school?
Yes, I'm music captain.
Aha. Again, something that you're contributing to your music department and your school. All these things are very worthwhile. Fantastic. And Jody, for you, was it hard being a parent and a teacher and a supervisor as well?
It was challenging, but it's very rewarding at the end.
Mm-hmm. And I believe that you've already enrolled in your next AMEB award, the gold.
Already, and she's working on it.
Excellent. A little bit more challenging, maybe, that one.
Yeah, that one has a few more steps, a few more contributions, a few more performances.
Yeah, fantastic. All right. Susan, yes.
Yeah, I just want to say this is exactly why the AMEB Award was created, to allow our young creative people to find a way to express themselves beyond the technical elements of their exams. Because I'm a musician and I'm a mum of musicians, and I think musicians are extraordinary people who can do amazing things. And the more that we can say to people, well, what would you want to do? So, like Victoria's had the wonderful opportunity to speak and write and organize and do all these things that extend Victoria's skills, but also what I heard Victoria say was to promote music to people. So this is just such a beautiful example of, as you said, Fiona, find a way to for our young musicians to either create something that's comfortable and achievable for them wherever they are, or if they want more extension, to create something that's really going to stretch their skills. So it's just it's such an inspiration, Victoria. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, so we really appreciate you joining us today, and please stay on till the end in case anybody has some questions for you. But now we're going to invite another guest, Catherine, to join us. Catherine was an award supervisor for our very first award recipient, Louis, who's in Queensland, and there are a few photos of him that have flashed up in some of our presentations today. So thank you for joining us, Catherine, and you're going to talk about your experience with the AMEB Award. So welcome.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Lovely. So you were a supervisor for Louis, and being a supervisor is one of the key roles for in any participant's AMEB Award journey. It's often taken on by a teacher or a community leader.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about Louis and your role as his award supervisor?
Yes, I've been teaching Louis since he was in grade 4, and he played piano and then started the flute. He's very, very shy, very quiet, but very dedicated to his music. So he flew through the first few grade levels. Then he took up recorder as well, and then he took up clarinet. And this year he's just started French horn. which is probably a little bit too much for somebody in grade 9, but that's Louis. He just lives and breathes music. He's just super keen and highly motivated musician. So it's been quite a journey with him. He's only in grade 9 and he's about to do his 7th grade flute.
Wow. Okay, that's fantastic. And you've taught him the whole time from when he was
Yes.
a beginner?
Yeah. Since he was a little tacker. Yeah.
Great. Obviously, I think Louis' mother enrolled him into the award program, and then you were approached to be his supervisor for some of his performances and contribution activities.
Yes.
How much commitment was that on your part? Was it challenging or easy?
It was easy as I received an email from I think through the AMEB to confirm that Louis had actually done what he had set out to do. And I clicked the button and off it went. So as far as me being a supervisor was, I'd be very happy to encourage any number of my students to do it, because as you know, when you're a sessional teacher, you don't get admin time. So it's been very, very simple for me.
Just for people who are unaware of the role of the supervisor, yes, that you take on the responsibility of just verifying that the performances and the contribution activities that they've written about in their award program did actually happen. So you need to be able to verify that you can that they did actually undertake these things, that they put in the number of hours required, that the performance took place with the right number of audience, that sort of thing. So but as you say, if you're able to do that easily, then it is just a matter of ticking a box to say yes, yep, this Louis did his performances. So yeah, not too challenging. And we do have lots of information for supervisors on the website. So there's a document that people can read through if they're sort of like, oh, I'm not sure what's involved here. Yeah.
Catherine, it's so great to hear that it was really straightforward, the process for you. I think that's really excellent for people to hear. We know that music teachers are busy people with lots of demands on their time. So to know that the management and the admin from your end was pretty simple, that was great to hear. But I have a question for you. You're a very experienced teacher, and you teach in a way that's learner-centered and centered on the person, not just the playing. So I wonder, what does it mean for you as a teacher to have Louis or other students to have the opportunity for them to be acknowledged for their contributions that are about the person, not just the performer?
Oh, it's really important. Often students who are very shy sort of fly under the radar a little bit, and they can withdraw a little bit in an ensemble rehearsal. So for Louis to get this award really shone the spotlight on him as a musician. I'm probably skipping ahead a bit there, but just that being the first person to get the silver award was such a thrill for him. And yeah, it really, you can't hide anywhere when you get given a big certificate and a photograph and you're lauded. So that was really special. I think it made a big difference to him.
Was he celebrated at school? Was there?
Yes, there was a photo of us on the school Facebook page. So it was lovely. And it's a big music school. So for a student in he would have been in grade 8 then, to get an award from the AMEB, that was pretty special.
Yeah, it's a good point you make about people bringing different skills to the performing arts, and some of the categories and the principles of the AMEB Award that we want people to think about, like collaboration, assistance and support, and in particular leadership, which is something that we really promote in the Silver and the Gold Awards. I think you don't have to be the person standing up the front waving the baton, or you don't have to be the school captain to show leadership. That can happen in so many other ways, just by being a good role model or tutoring younger kids, that sort of thing.
Yes. Well, he's taken on the mentoring the junior band So he goes to all the 7 a.m. Rehearsal and sits and plays the flute and then takes the flutes off and helps them with their fingering. And yeah, so he's become a mentor for the younger ones in the school.
And they would look up to him, presumably.
Absolutely. It's lovely to have a boy as a mentor, as a flute player. They're a bit thin on the ground often.
Fiona, I have a question for Catherine. Do we have time for a quick question?
Yes, absolutely.
Catherine, just because you are such an experienced teacher and you've seen such a broad range of students coming through, just as Fiona mentioned earlier about accessibility, and I'm just curious, do you see that in the AMEB Awards, the structure, that there's opportunity for a really diverse type of students, so students who are neurodivergent, students with English or English as a second language, or coming from a different cultural background? Can you see that there's a way that all of those students could tailor their experience to their the wonderful gifts that they bring and the needs that they may have?
Oh, I think this is definitely a platform, because you can tailor your contributions to suit your particular personality. So I think that's it's something that's beyond the performance, because going into an AMEB exam is all about confidence and controlling your nerves and doing a one-off performance that can go really well, or it might not, depending on the circumstances, even if you're super well prepared. So this is another way of being involved and just celebrating the person rather than the gift of whatever level that they are at.
I love what you just reflected about. This is a completely different experience to an exam, which is time bound, and it's got quite a lot of structure around it. That for this is an opportunity for students to succeed and thrive over a longer term, not just be measured on that. We have to evaluate. That's what an exam is, but this opportunity for us to acknowledge so much more is really fantastic. I'm really pleased to hear you say that you can see that this is a way for all students to find their space and thrive.
Yes. I was also thinking there's quite an experience of the most senior students in the music departments to become too busy to be involved in the music, and they have to focus on getting the highest possible grade that they can possibly get in their school subjects. So this may be an opportunity for them to be rewarded for staying engaged and contributing in other ways, rather than the amount of time that requires to be in X number of ensembles. So
I jump super quick because I just want to be an advocate, Fiona, for AME and for music
participation.
As a parent of two boys who did continue music making right through their years 11 and 12, who did very well academically, them continuing in the music program was not a distraction or took away. It actually was an opportunity for them to have their feelings in a safe space, to have some fun, to step away. And when they came back to their academic work, they found they were more refreshed, and they so I just want to be an advocate for, with my mum hat on, that my two sons chose to keep music going, and they both speak about it being something that actually got them through the academic load. And they, like I said, they both got excellent results, and they both had a really good experience of those 2 years of school. So it can be something that can really add a lot of value to keep music going.
Absolutely. And I think it comes back to the idea of, it's not just about the performer and the playing as well. And those skills that the kids learn, in that environment, in that school environment or elsewhere out in the community, when we're talking about playing in ensembles and collaborating, these are all the skills that can lead to other jobs that aren't just being the lead clarinetist in the orchestra. Just looking around between you and me, Susan, we're musicians, but we have careers in other ways, and there's so many career paths and futures that somebody can have. And if you are musical, or if you're talented in speech and drama or dance and acting, that can go beyond actually being the person on the stage. And this is kind of what we're talking about here, isn't it? It's building up those other skills as well, just in case they want to go down that path.
Well, also, even if performance is this place that you want to go and you apply and get accepted into the conservatory, You have to do group assignments with people at uni.
Mhm.
So you've got to work with other people. And then even if an orchestra or a concert soloist is where you'd like to go, you still have to write your program notes and your bio and manage your headshot. And this is the work that I do, is you have to understand how to read a performance contract if Carnegie Hall offer you a performance spot. So all of these skills are absolutely the back engine of making a performance career happen. So it's not an extra, it's absolutely a requirement to you being able to be the agent in the career that you want to have in music, and being able to contribute and take responsibility, and manage a career that's going to be tailored for what you need. There isn't someone to magically do this for you. Even if you are playing clarinet in an orchestra is where you may want to go, you're likely to be asked to be on the artistic planning committee. They may want you to do a media call. You may have to go and have dinner with the person who supports the cost of your, is the donor that supports your chair. So these skills are absolutely the skills you need. Performance in large ensemble professionally, or concertizing. This is the work, actually, and it's amazing, and it's lots of fun.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you, Catherine, so much for coming and telling us and sparking lots of conversation. And we really appreciate the time that you have spent working with Louis, and any future award participants that you're going to work with, and for joining us today. So thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you.
So both Louis and Victoria, who you've heard about today, are continuing their award journey and have enrolled in their Gold Award. And there are some key aspects of the Gold Award that make it quite different from the Bronze and Silver. So we thought we'd just spend a little bit of time talking about that. The Gold Award demands a deeper commitment than the other award types. It has been designed for participants with higher AMEB qualifications, and it focuses on building and igniting skills in leadership. The Gold Award is about empowering participants to develop their leadership skills and make a lasting impact on the performing arts community. An additional requirement of the Gold Award is to undertake a substantial contribution activity. So as well as there's a certain number of contribution activities that you may have done in Bronze and Silver, there's one which we call the substantial contribution activity. So this is usually a significant initiative or a project that requires an element of planning, extra hours of contribution, and we want to see a strong showing of leadership. We have lots of information on the website about the requirements for the substantial contribution activity, and lots of examples as well. We do advise people to write into us with your substantial contribution activity idea, and just nice to be able to get some verification from us here at AMEB that you're on the right track and that it's something that's going to get through. So we are getting closer to the Q&A section of the webinar. So if you do have a question, now's the time to pop it into the Q&A. If you have a question for Susan and I, and our other special guests are also online if you have something for them, and they're happy to answer. So is Susan, I might invite Susan back. That's okay. We have talked a little bit about leadership already. But why do you think it's important for participants and performing artists to think about leadership? Is that a particular element of, future life that we've been talking about that they is important?
Absolutely. And I think if we could start by just articulating what we mean by leadership, that leadership doesn't mean being bossy. And I think sometimes musicians young musicians might think that leadership is bossing people around. And that's the opposite of actually what leadership looks like. Leadership looks like working with a team towards a shared goal, and enabling others to be and do their best. And that's what we actually do in our ensembles, or when we're collaborating with others. As collaborative performers, we've got to all be working towards that end goal of the performance and doing our best to take the melody and give the melody, and shuffle when someone does a really good, plays a really good solo. So I think just articulating that leadership doesn't look like being mean and bossy to people. It actually looks like enabling the best of others towards something that we all care really deeply about. And if our young musicians undertaking these activities are looking towards having a future in music, it's really critical, because we're at this interesting point now where, particularly in the world of classical music, the world of the past is less of what we're doing, and we're doing much more of playing the music of living composers and playing performances in new and interesting venues. So we need our performers to come to that with a sense of, I want to be part of making classical music something that's living and beautifully living and breathing and representative of the communities in which we live and the people who we represent on stage. So being able to ask questions, really great questions about why we're doing things and how we can make our music more diverse and representative of the world we live in is really critical. And also, if they want to do things for themselves, they may want to have their own chamber ensemble or their own concert solo experience. So it's really critical that they can lean into taking responsibility for things. And then for the majority of people for whom music is something that's really special and precious to them, but not going to be the thing that they do every single day, all day. You know, if we don't want ChatGPT to take all our jobs, the more human we can be and the more we can bring our interpersonal skills of listening and supporting others and working together towards a shared goal. That's what happens if you're a lawyer and you have a legal team of assistants behind you, or if you're a doctor, or if you are a mechanic. Everything we do requires collaborating with others. So regardless of whether it's on stage or somewhere else, that ability to lead with empathy, with kindness towards a shared goal is absolutely transferable everywhere. So that's why it was really important to AMEB that was an opportunity for everyone to have the experience of doing that through this process.
Wonderful. Thank you. You articulate it so well, Susan. Thank you. It's absolutely the ethos of the award and what we're trying to get across, and hoping that people will take up and find value in. Yeah. We've got time for a couple of questions. I can see that we don't have any in the Q&A, but a couple have popped through behind the scenes. So somebody's asked, do I need to use the same supervisor for all of my performances and activities? The answer to that is no. You can have a different supervisor for each of your performances and for each of your contribution activities. So the supervisor is very specific to that particular activity that we're talking about. And there's another one here. What's involved with the verification process after an award has been submitted? So yeah, this is right at the end when somebody submits their award through to us at AMEB. And we do actually look through everything. We read all the details of every performance, every contribution activity. We might contact the supervisor just to double check a few details and make sure that all the requirements have been met. And with the gold, we often do like to talk to the people involved, so the participant themselves, and hear in their own words about what they've learned from the process. You do actually have to submit a personal reflection on the substantial contribution, but we also like to talk to people if we can. So that's part of the process. And once everything's been verified, then it is just a push of the button, and then you will get your certificate and your PIN. So yeah, so I think that might be it for questions, unless I'm missing anything. I'll just have a quick check on the chat. No, I think that's it. So I think we can probably wrap it up here. Thank you all very much. Thank you so much for joining us online, or if you're listening to this later, you might not be live here today, but you might be watching it a bit later. A big thank you to our guests. Susan, thank you very much for joining us. Really appreciate your time again today. Jodie, Victoria and Catherine for sharing their expertise and experience with us. We really appreciate it. On the screen now we have the AMEB Award homepage address, along with some important links for you to explore. These include the AMEB Award syllabus policy, which I mentioned earlier, SCORE, which is the enrolment platform that you can use to enroll for an award, AMEB Award contribution activity page, which includes information about the gold substantial contribution, We also have an award supervisor page that contains really supportive materials and examples, including downloadable documents, and also up there all of our contact details. We hope you found today useful and inspiring, and we look forward to hearing all of the wonderful things that you and your students are accomplishing and through their AMEB Award programs. Thanks again to our special guests. Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.